My name is Sandra LaPerche. I live in Stoneham. I retired and I knew I needed to do things to serve the community. And I think I ended up finding English at Large at the library on a poster.
My name is Yan Xu, come from China. And I was a teacher and research in medical school in China. And then I got a job here, also as a research like postdoc fellow in Forsyth Institute. I couldn't express myself very well in English. And another problem, I think, it's culture. It's totally different culture.
This is how I first met Yan. I felt, from what she told me, that her biggest concern was how her English sounded to other people. Over the year, she's learning her English. We're working together on what is important to Yan.
In the beginning, it was teacher and student, right? But I feel more we are like friends now. I'd like to share everything about myself to her. I was totally open for her.
She's a lab scientist, and she works with mice who come from Acadia, where I like to go camping. And technical English is not difficult for her. In a lab, it's always technical, and she reads a lot of technical papers. Those aren't hard. Part of what I feel I offer her is to get away from the technology and do these more art, American culture, poetry.
Out of the lab, I feel I'm totally lost. So I was thinking about I have to improve my English. So I found English at Large. I think our meeting is very successful every time, because every time after the meeting, I was so happy. Every time I learned a lot of things. If I can do something for English at Large, I will be happy. So I took part in the training for the TAP test. I signed up for the co-facilitator in conversation group in Winchester Public Library. Now I feel comfortable and confidence. That's important. I think it's confidence. I can talk more to other people. Not only some stuff in lab. I can talk everything about like what we talked with Sandra about arts, about some news, about some sports. So absolutely my English has improved a lot.
My name is Bonnie Salmier and I live in Arlington. For many years I worked as the vice president of a large mental health agency, and I retired a couple of years early so I could do some things that I'd always wanted to do. And one of those things was teaching English. I always wanted to be an English teacher, partly because I was so inspired in high school by an English teacher that I had. One day at something called Arlington Town Days, which is like a street fair in Arlington, there was a little booth for English at Large, and I picked up a brochure and called, and everybody was incredibly nice, and so I came over and started tutoring here. The transcript way was completely different from what I had experienced, but it made so much sense to me because it felt a little bit more it actually felt a little bit more like how people actually learn, how children learn language, just sort of by a natural process of acquisition, as opposed to by learning all the rules. And it also made sense from the point of view of being about something that the learner cared about. I loved the idea that you could take, you could sit down and in the first session with a learner work on a transcript and figure out from that where you needed to go in terms of, the places that the learner needed the most help with, whatever it was, grammar, vocabulary, writing, reading, and you could also talk about it. So you could get a whole picture of the learner's, where the learner is in his English just from that one session. We're sort of using the transcripts as a basis for working on enriching his ability to describe and to narrate events, so get better, more full descriptions of things and write in a good narrative sequence. But we're using his experience and a transcript to do that. I think he's become more acclimated to being an American. I think it was very hard for him to make that switch, to feel really American, and I think he really does. Now he talks about feeling like this is his country, and he really belongs here, which is a nice thing. What I get most out of tutoring in general and working with English at large in general is an incredible inspiration about the resiliency that it takes for anybody, Nixon or anybody else, to be an immigrant in this country. Just how hard it is to make that shift from everything familiar into a place where nothing is familiar, and the language is the least of it in some ways. So I'm inspired every single day by that.
Are you tearing up?
Yeah, a little bit.
Meu nome é Maria Carolina Scherer. I am come from Brazil. In Brazil, I am a teacher. In the beginning, I had a lot of difficulty with the language, with the English. It's like a person know how to speak, how to say, how to help other person, but we cannot do because you have no English. The only problem is the time. Sometimes you need to wait 1 year to get your tutor. Then I say, no problem. I'm gonna put my name there and I'm gonna wait. Then almost 1 year I'm waiting to get my tutor. We opened this business, this store where I work in October. In November, Carol started to help me with English. I don't have too much time, And I asked her, say, Carol, could you let me on my job? She said, yes. Go to my job. Yeah, she goes to my job, she stay there, sometimes the customer came, she saw I answer the phone, she saw I speak with the customer. Sometimes she was very proud of me because she said, no, Carol, today you did very good. The phone rang. And I am so happy because I can answer the phone, I can say everything I want, I can say, I can understand all the customer gonna tell me. Because before, every time the phone is ring, I say, what am I gonna do right now? I feel cold here in my bed, But now I feel happy. Say, oh, one more countertop solved. Sometimes you don't know why you love English at large or why you love your tutor. And the answer I have on me by myself is that I love her because she spent her time. She thinks it's important for me learning English. She's like my mother. She's like, here in this country, she's everything for me. She is the person who gave me the opportunity to have my life back. Now I have American friend. I can do something for her because I know to speak her language. You know, that's very important. I think that make a lot of difference in my kids. I feel very happy. I feel lucky because I found English at Large, and the English at Large found her for me.